Welcome to the Milan Edit 2026. Today we have with us a dynamic personality who has an innate sense of discovering people and their designs before the world even sees it. Giulio Cappellini.
Hello.
Giulio, you have discovered some brilliant minds over a period of time, and some of the greatest people that I admire are Marcel Wonders. You've discovered Jasper Morrison and Mark Newson. So many amazing, talented people. Now, tell me something. Is this an instinct that you had from day one, or is this something that you've developed over a period of time?
No, I think that, I have to say that, first of all, there is not one method that I follow to discover a new designer, also if I'm really very curious. I have the possibility to travel a lot, and so traveling, I can meet, on one side, maybe very important established designer, on the other side, the young, talented students of design. And is the way that I found people like Newson or Dixon or Morrison and so. So, everything comes from my stomach, from my heart. That means that sometimes maybe I see a prototype, I see a drawing, and they say, wow, it's fantastic. I want to have in my home tomorrow morning.
Wow.
Or sometimes as I meet someone, and speaking with him or her, I found this person absolutely interesting. And from the first approach, sometimes to arrive to a product, it takes months or years. Sometimes maybe we didn't arrive to make something interesting. But it's always interesting to discover someone in the world. And, at the beginning, I started to travel here in Europe or after Japan, North America. Now I'm absolutely very interested in discovering new talents in some other part of the world, like the Middle East, Far East, like India. Last year I introduced a very young designer who studied here in Milan from India. So I think that you can find really nice, interesting, young, talented designers everywhere in the world.
You just have to have that eye for it. Which you do.
Yes, and anyway, it's something that, again, comes looking at the personality. And also, I think that for a young designer, the most important thing that is important for me is that they have to be absolutely very professional, and they have to work with a lot of passion, because I think that passion is really the most important thing.
So what I also find fascinating is that, when you're discovering different people, they also have a very distinct and a very different style of design. They have a different language. For example, the Proust chair was very different from what Jasper Morrison did. And then Mark Newson did this very futuristic style. So how do you navigate between all these different genres?
Yes, I like always to work with people with a completely different approach to design, because I think that really minimal is interesting, like organic, like classic, like pop, and so and so. Thinking to Cappellini, for example, we have really very, very different people working to the Cappellini collection. And me, like art director of the company, I have to try to create a sort of fil rouge that connect the approach to design of those different people. Anyway, I think that it is always very interesting how a different designer react to the spirit, to the DNA of a company. Because again, the most important thing is to do the right product for the right company, So I think that we as a company, we have to try to respect the DNA of the designer. And the designer have to try to understand very well the DNA of the company. I think that to essablish the right feeling is important. If there is not this feeling, it's very difficult to arrive to do a good product.
Yes, you have to respect each other's work, correct. And this brings me to a question about your family business. You took it up and, you have taken it to a very different and a larger platform. It's like a platform where people can actually come and discover different things. How did you also say that, oh, I'm not a designer. I've often heard you say that. So what is the true Giulio all about?
Yes, I always say that I'm a designer, I'm a Sunday afternoon designer thinking to objects. Also, if I like to design also products, for sure. The thing that I like more is to design the company. This is because I think that people, they can easily copy a product. It's more and more difficult to copy the global concept of a company. And when I enter into the family business, Cappellini was very, very small company selling products only here in Italy and that's it. So the company grew during the years, and after we decided to enter in a big group, because in my family, my kids, they don't follow my job, and so I want to assure the future to the company. And so now we work in a different dimension, but the most important thing is absolutely not to lose the spirit and the DNA of the company. And this I work in this way when I work as an art director for Cappellini, but also when I work as art director for other companies or when I create exhibitions like this.
Could you tell us something about this beautiful space that you've created? Because normally you're curating pieces. Here you've curated a city. Yes. What was the thought process behind this?
This space, I think that is a beautiful space. It's the first time that this space is used just for design. And so my idea, it was to mix architecture, design with art, and so, because I think that all these disciplines, they speak the same language. And so here I try to create these virtual homes without walls, or a virtual swimming pool, just mixing different products. And, I think that I try to create this sort of interior where freedom is the most important word. Because, I think that today, when they ask me which is the trend of today, I always say it's the freedom of the end consumer. Freedom to mix different products designed by different designers, produced by different companies, and also maybe in different parts of the world. And I think that this is the approach of today. In the past, people, they want to have and to live in the same house like their friends. Now, no. Correct. They want to live in a house that reflects their own identity. And look into this to these different houses or to the club and so here is my spirit, the freedom to mix really different products all together. I always say it's a chaos like my home.
Does this come from your love for Lego?
But yes, I think that I'm passionate about art, and so I think that design, and also I think that for me the most important thing is that a product is for me beautiful. I don't take care if it was designed 50 years ago or today, but I think that the most important thing is to create an ambience that really reflects my own identity.
I love that. Thank you. And the young designers today, they bring a palpable energy along with them. Now, my question to you is, what is it that you look forward to in this generation? And what is it that concerns you about the younger generation also?
But for sure, the way to do design today is very different from the 80s, the 90s, and so, because in the past, maybe the designer was doing the project, and after the R&D team of the company was developing, and after the marketing company was taking care of everything. Now, I think that really designers have to work in a team. When you start to work with the company, you make meetings with the R&D team, with the marketing team, and so. And also the most important thing is, first of all, as I already told, is to work with passion, but really to follow the development of a product from the first idea to the final product. This is very important. So the thing that I always say to the young designers, to the young generation, do few things, but do good things. Because I think that is the most important thing. And today, sometimes people, they say everything has been done in design. No, I think that there are, again, thousands of interesting products to design, because also now there is design everything, in everything and everywhere. So design is not only to make a table, a chair, or a sofa. No, design is to do also glasses, to do a computer, is to do a car, and so. So really, for designers, there is plenty of nice things to do again. And I think that the young generation today have to have a very, very serious approach to design. And also for young designer, I understand that at the beginning is not really easy. That means that it takes time, no? But I always say that if you do something good, people, they will discover you and they will understand you.
We have to have you to discover them. We have to have more people like you to discover them. And to end it, I'd like to ask you, if you think design energy is an emotion, what emotion would that be for you?
I always say that on one side, we have to try with design to do useful and beautiful products, because nobody needs of useful but horrible products. But on the other side, the most important thing is design is to make people dreaming and smiling, and this is important. So we have really to give dreams to the people, and mostly in this period where outside the atmosphere is not so friendly.
Yes.
And so our house is becoming our refuge, just one place where we like to spend time, where we feel comfortable, and so. So really the dream of design is for me very important.
Oh, so beautifully put. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
I absolutely loved the installation.